must if your heart is like it must be able to live up, it must be able to work equal with your male counterpart. So added that there should be more opportunities for women that will enable them build their capacity and also cause on government for support. If we want to have a vibrant security sector, we must have gender equity. That is, our women in the sector and the men are always on the same basis, having equal rights, doing the same job, paid the same way. So we have all of these forces to talk our women give more, opportunities for our women. For instance, we have not us who were not computer literate. That was just a plain fact. We were not computer literate, but we provided training. Government needs to come in now to make sure that the work will even go to another level. And how is it going to happen? It will only happen if we are captured in national budget. You will not always rely on international partners. Leaflet and GSSNT are supported by the International Development Law Organization and the United States Department of State Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs. Under the Strengthening Gender Equality in Liberia Security Sector project, the project works to ensure that women officers in the security sector have adequate skills and technical knowledge to impact. All right. Well. Today is Monday, July 29th, 2024, and we are excited to be here this afternoon. It's a great opportunity to be alive again. Well, life is the most valuable gift you can ever have. And every time I have the opportunity to speak to people, to tell people, tell a congregation, I tell them to appreciate the matter of fact that you are alive. and you are a Liberian, I feel so good being a Liberian and a Liberian woman for that matter. That's my pride. And I respect that so much. God saw all the other countries and he brought me right. Even though the day I was born, I was crying. I cried. But yes, God chose this particular place. And he said, this is where you're going to be. This is your country. And so I value that so much. Well, good afternoon. It's good to be back again. This is State of the Nation. We're going to be here up to 5 o'clock and still on post analysis of the oration done by Dr. Pele on the weekend, on a Friday, celebrating 177th independence celebration at the Centennial Memorial Pavilion on Ashma Street. We all were there. We were there. I say I was in the price. I was in the price. And this is why I want to drop before, and this is a way to welcome. Today is going to be fascinating discussions. It's going to be fascinating discussions. We started on Friday for panel discussion. We had Lawrence Yellow from Accountability Lab. We had Egisu Wolokodi, former presidential aspirant, and a retired soldier. He spent 20 years in the U.S. Army. Yes, we were here having a discussion on the 177th Independence celebration.
This is a breaking news. The Monrovia City Court has indicted Samuel Twe, former Minister of Finance, Yanati Twa, former Solicitor General, Stanley Ford, former head.
I'm sorry. Okay, no. Interesting. Yes, God bless Mama Liberia. Too many things happening. So I want us to look at this before we go further. And I want to extend greetings to one of my most favorite, in person of the Shashi affairs to Liberia, Madam Catherine Rodriguez. Look, I don't know this woman in person, but every time I see her at an event, I admire her so much. A professional woman, a diplomat, a person who I have always admired. You know what? Every time a woman or women reach at that level or that zenith, their career, it is something that I admire so much. And I want to say hats off to you, CDA. You are you are admired by me. Yeah, let me just say that. And I want to say happy happy Monday, right? I was around when she walked out of the ceremony, which has sparked up mixed reactions. And so many discussions. Everyone has a way of putting it. But this is what I want to say. Diplomatic etiquette is a set of rules and customs that guide the behavior of diplomats and government representatives when representing their country on international stage. Diplomatic etiquette refers to the protocol and rules rules of behavior. Diplomatic etiquette refers to the protocol and rules of behavior that followed by diplomats and other government officials when interacting with each other and with foreign dignitaries. These rules and behaviors are designed to ensure that interactions between different countries and their representatives are respectful and productive and to help prevent misunderstandings and conflicts. Yes, diplomatic etiquette also includes formalized procedures for handling issues such as the presentations of credentials, establishing diplomatic relations, and the accreditation of diplomat. Okay, all the one. But let me come back again to this one that says that these rules and behaviors. Diplomatic etiquette refers to the protocol and rules of behavior that are followed by diplomats and other government officials when interacting with each other and with foreign dignitaries. And yes, so these rules and behaviors are designed to ensure that interactions between different countries and their representatives are respectful and productive and to help prevent misunderstanding and conflicts. So in our country, in Liberia, yeah, in Liberia, when we, for example, you were called or you were invited to have a meeting. You were invited to have a meeting. For example, you're having a meeting, you're settling issues, you're having conversation, and someone is addressing you, and you walk out. It's a sign of disrespect to the entire group. Let's get that straight. In our country, in Liberia, is a sign of disrespect to everybody. When you people are judging kids, Jerry, I'll get to you. When you are judging kids, for example, yes, Chief, you have to send me the link, please. Okay, I will do that. If you are judging kids, if you are having a conversation, you are trying to settle up things, and you walk out of the people, meaning you do not have any respect for them. Madam Catherine did not attend. our independence, Liberia's 177th independence celebration, as Madame Rodriguez, as that ordinary person. She represented the entire United States of America. So let us all stop catching feelings around here. It was actually a disrespect to us as a people, to our president, and all others who were in the hall that very day. And we should not be celebrating this. We expected her to have, remain where she was at the end of the day, and all of the statements coming from the embassy. I'm following them on the Facebook page. Then it was going to be a very good opportunity to express yourself. But to walk out of us, this Good Friday, we were having the panel discussion, and I kept putting the "walked out" in quotation, meaning we did not have enough evidence to say, oh, she walked out. It could be a coincidence that, why the woman was speaking, and then she had a telephone call, or maybe she had a conversation or meeting to attend. And so I was always saying, please put that in quote until before the show could end, we receive and Megesu Wolokodi kept on saying it was a sign of protest. I mean, he's a diplomat. He traveled almost I know how many countries, and with his experience. But as a host, as a presenter, I left the space. I always say, okay, let us not say let's put it in the quote. But people are saying it, but it should not come from me to say, oh, she walked out of the ceremony. But at the end of the day, we got that on Friday, we got to know that the respondent said she did that because she wanted to maintain a perfect decorum in the hall. In my country, Liberia, we cannot be having a town hall meeting and people are addressing you. How many minutes did let it take to address it? It did not even take like a whole minute of that speech. I read it on Friday, the part of the speech that captured the US aid and all the that special relations stuff. Yes. So everyone over there had a piece. Every sector segment had their own piece. And I mean, what if everybody decide to leave the hall because a little girl in court? And one other person who I feel so disappointed, this is someone who I follow so much, I admire his level of education, his connections and everything, is John Morton. The words he used on our orator, they are so strong, and I feel so. Yeah, please tell him all. You say Magdalene, Saah on Truth FM. Yes, Magdalene Saah on Truth FM is one of the secret admirers. Meaning, you could have addressed the issue. You spoke a lot. I took a lot of notes. I read your article. I read it very well, and we'll be looking at that. Today, we're going to have Abel Plaki. Abel Plaki is already here. We're going to have him. And then we'll also have, he's a stalwart of the United Party. He will be our guest on the first segment. And we will be talking about, yes, we will be talking about, we will still go back to the speech. There are some other, areas that we will have discussions on. But then at 4 p.m., still on the oration, a former senior diplomat who served in the U.S. for nearly 9 years, for 2 administrations, Gabriel Williams will be our guest. He has some recommendations for the Boaka Kun administration to avoid a diplomatic crisis with the U.S., our most important bilateral partner. We respect the relationship. Yes, the relationship, we respect the relationship. They are our traditional partners. I'm sorry. But I will say this again. In Liberia, when that happened the last time, I remember we were having a meeting in our church, leadership meeting. And this man was called to, he was actually being addressed. And he walked out of the people. He wanted to maintain a perfect decorum, but it was actually a disrespect. And I will say this today, and I'm not going to America before. I will go to America, and I will go to America as many times I want to go. But the truth of the matter is, our president and the rest of the guests, international guests, and everyone, everyone, we were disrespected. Disrespected. And I say that. That's why I read the, and I posted. The embassy wrote. They did a statement again, and I share it and say emotional intelligence is very, very, very important. Yes, it's very important. So this is how I want to begin the show this afternoon. Yes, we have a breaking news here. We have a breaking news here this afternoon. Rest assured, we're going to have a wonderful time up to 5 o'clock um, on this Monday afternoon. Then somebody was saying the people were not judging case. They were not judging case. In on that day, for what the capacity of that of Pele. I mean, she stood over there like not like, but I mean, how I really want to put it. I'm receiving breaking news here, and the credit said to Charles B. Yates. Yeah, Charles B. Yates. Breaking news: right, rate of arrests out for several government officials. Rate of arrests out for several government officials. Former Finance Minister Samuel Twe, Councillor Yenati Twan, former Deputy Minister Stanley Ford, former Director FIA, Moses Cooper, former Controller FIA, and Jeremy Como, former Security Advisor for Economic Sabotage, misuse of public money, theft, and illegal disbursement of public money, theft of property, and criminal conspiracy. The Monrovia City Court has issued a writ of arrest for the indicted former officials of government. No, we're not. You don't hear anything good? Wait, let me read this again. Writ of arrest out for several government officials. Ministry of Justice, LACC, indict former Finance Minister Samuel Twe, Councillor Yenati Twan, former Deputy Justice Minister Stanford, former Director for Financial Intelligence Agency,
I hope I'm getting it right. Moses Cooper, former controller FIA, and Jefferson Camo, former security advisor for what? Economic sabotage, misuse of public money, theft and illegal disbursement of public money, theft of property, and criminal conspiracy. The Monrovia City Court has issued a writ of arrest for the indicted former officers of government or officials of government. Oh, wow. This is really breaking. Oh. So, courtesy to Charles Yates. Charles B. Yates. Good afternoon, Chief. And so I'll come back to Mr. John Molu, right? This is someone I respect so much. But when I saw the write up this morning, and I was so confused, I was so disappointed. I am so disappointed. If you read the write up, he's providing, you know, he's providing equal, let me say, evidence. He's providing information that we can reference to, and we're going to make some reference to some of what he said in his write-up. But in the middle there, you have to be using strong words on this woman. Why did she go wrong for expressing herself? Hmm? What? Oh my God. Sometimes we like risk, we can be so discouraging, So discouraging. That Article 15 of the Liberian Constitution, yeah. And even in a writer, he said, yeah, even though she got right to freedom of expression, then he let it. He insulted her. I know she doesn't want to. I didn't pay. Maybe she will not want to pay attention to that, but I feel so disappointed. You have to tell him. I have been following him and I admire him so much. Yes. But for what he said this morning, I mean, over the weekend, and I saw the write up this afternoon, it is very discouraging. I feel so disappointed. I know my disappointment can't do anything to him. It can't add 1 cent even to a mobile money. Yeah, but this is Article 50 of the Liberian Constitution. It addresses the fundamental rights related to freedom of expression. Every person has the right to freedom of speech and expression. And when you come down, it tells you that the press, why there is freedom of speech and press, these freedoms come with responsibilities. So if you follow the Ministry of Information on the weekend, before the show ended, they one time, a writer came from the Ministry of Information, for the Minister of Information. The woman is a private citizen. Everything she said, she did not speak on behalf of the government. She didn't. She didn't speak on behalf of the government. So, most of the time we can have this kind of we can joke about it. People who in America or in other countries where they have opportunities, they'll be like, as soon as you do something, they get angry. Especially when somebody is in a position to help you, right? As soon as something happens, they get angry. Especially the one in America. As soon as something happens, they get angry. Yeah. So because you are influential, you are influential. In fact, you contribute 163 million annually to us. So because of that, if an individual come out, a Liberian woman come out and say, okay, this is what, then walking out is almost like, okay, the president and all her officials have sat down and planned their speech, and it was intentional. They try to get at us. Mother, you did not go over there as an individual. You did not go to represent yourself. You went to represent. So you told us that America actually walked out of our ceremony. And I feel so bad about that. Please, yeah, please tell the Shashi at first. She's one of my favorite. I admire that woman so much. Yeah. Yeah. I admire her so much. Yeah, I admire her. She's one person that I admire, especially serving in that position. But what happened is one time when I saw her stepping as usual, her her black stockings and look so adorable. I said, "Oh yes," and this is something that is going to spark reactions, and it has happened. I mean, this is something that it will be recorded, or it has been recorded in history, and we're going to be talking about it. We want those who listening right now from the U.S. embassy to know that we're not feeling good about it. Me in particular, I know everybody will say their own, but I don't feel good about it. As an individual, I got this, my constitution protects me. It tells me that I have the freedom to express myself, and I don't feel good about it. So let me stop here this afternoon. We have a lot to talk about. My name is Magdalene Finasa, and this is how we roll on State of the Nation. No friend, no foe. And we will continue to speak truth to power and be civil. Respect for leaders. Yes, respect for leaders. So I am so disappointed in John Molu. You please tell him one, like the way they're referring to the orator is that they tell Pastor Lake. Yes. Let me tell you one time, kissy girl sitting down behind the microphone. I've always admired him, but what three words he used on our orator? Eh? I asked you to toy anything here. Eh? My pikin said that. All right, so this is State of the Nation, and we are excited to be back again. We'll give it time to, I mean, the conversation is going to go forever. Yeah, we're going to talk a lot of things. We already have Abel plugging in studio, and like I said, we're going to have a former diplomat. Yes, at 4 p.m. A former diplomat who served the U.S. For nearly 9 years for 2 administrations. Gabriel Williams will be our guest, and he has some recommendations for the Bwaka Kong administration to avoid diplomatic crisis. With I don't know, what are you afraid? Nothing going to happen. That woman was speaking on her own. What are you afraid? Eh? You stop being afraid around here. That woman spoke on be she doesn't if she going if she was going to be a government employee. Oh yes, but then on the other side they say she former government. All right, so yeah, let's make some money, man. Too many, you're too scary in your country, yo. Yeah, car. Look, yeah, don't be scared. Those are you who's supposed to go for who's supposed to go for visa. Yeah, we don't be afraid, huh? Yeah, we that her own what she say. You respect the woman thing what she say. Then President Barker spoke that. He did not say that. Now our vice president, now the speaker, that was our orator. Yeah. So let's make some money. When we come back, we'll talk more.
What happened to you? So today, what we will, I need to pay McDonald's first thing tomorrow morning. And today is Sunday. I finish and get person.
But they're not problems there at all. It's possible you can still pay it tomorrow.
Lord, I think you are not there. I'm not joking. If you can't help me, help me, Lord.
Yeah, I can help you. Let me ask you, have you heard about Ecobank Money Emergency Number?
You say what? Just leave me alone. I'm telling you, I need to pay my money tomorrow morning first thing. And then they'll be weird and not can't help me.
But you're not even going to the bank, Tammy. All you have to do is to dial *326# and request for 50% of your salary. You will pay Ecobank back within 30 days, and the interest are only 3%. They will be sent to your account in a minute, and you can use your ATM card to withdraw it from any Ecobank ATM.
Man, you mean I'll get it receipt there?
Oh yes, instantly. I mean in a minute. For you, Ecobank that baby.
I think so.
Oh, I beg you, yeah. Echo Bank can make things happen sharp, sharp. For any money emergency, just dial *326# to help yourself out.
Echo Bank, Pan African Bank.
Some people, your hello. Your good news from Orange Money. With your Orange Money account, you can pay your DSTV bill at any time from anywhere with no extra service charge. With Orange Money, it's in a free. All you need to do is dial *144*163# or better still, use the Orange Money app to make the thing easy because I know you now want to make that exciting TV show and that interest people but to go to it. Nah. Orange Money.
Orange Money. Experience our quality financial services. Sending money from Orange Money to Orange Money that are free, including all the transactions you do Orange Money. They're not taking one cent from there. Now, when you go with your money, they will take 1%. After the round say, Orange Money now all who's there who so much enjoy it. Orange Money.
Yes. So I'm sorry. Yeah, welcome back, all. Yes, welcome back. The teen I have you on Friday. Well, yeah, the teen it really hurting me. The teen hurting me, and then the responses of other people, including John Molu. Yeah, it really hurting me. So I'm not seeing the entire write up that I'm seeing right here. No, not the entire write up, but where he actually, said the many things to our orator, which of course I'm not going to repeat them here. Some of them are just so strong to come from a very professional person that I hold in high esteem. Yeah, that was the least thing I even I even believe that would have come. What would you be using such words on an orator, a young woman? Why would you be doing that? I mean, you provided in depth The information you provided here, they are all essential. Yes, we can go about doing investigation, and yes, but this is something that we can make reference to. But you say all the Google things, then you please tell him he got one secret admirer here at UFM. But wait a minute, let me open the line. Let me open every microphone so we can have a discussion here. Because the way you're handling this whole issue of this speech bidding, you're making me feel so disappointed in you. Let me just tell you here right now. So disappointed. Some of y'all see y'all. I'll leave it. Chief, how you doing?
Good afternoon.
Oh, wait now. I'll close the microphone.
Good
Why you
afternoon.
so excited to come on like that?
This is
Your
a-
microphone is up, Abel. Your microphone is up. Look, we're going to have a real civil discussion here today.
Absolutely.
And I am in charge.
Absolutely.
I am in charge of this
You have to
conversation.
be in
Please
charge
put your
of it.
headset on. Nobody hearing you.
No,
You
but I'm
keep
hearing
talking.
you. I'm hearing you.
Yeah, put your headset on.
I'm hearing you. I just
Close
like
your
to speak like
microphone.
this. I just like to speak like this. Oh, Fina.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I'm excited because I'm on already.
Yes, sir.
I like
you
to
are.
greet the public and those who are following by way of social media. We are happy to be here. It is our responsibility as a patriotic citizen to always engage the public and express our opinions, our perspective on issues of national concern. So I'd like to thank you for this invite. But we have a breaking news in the country. You know, the government of Liberia has indicted few government officials. Samuel D. Twe, former Minister of Finance.
Excuse me,
And
Abel,
the
I just read that. You want your voice to be
So I'm
easier?
excited because this is the day that the Liberian people been waiting for. The Minister of Finance, Planning and Development, Development Planning, Councilor Nyanti Twan, former acting Minister of Justice, Stanley Ford. You know, you're talking about Moses P. Cooper, former controller, and the former security advisor. Their crimes and economic sabotage. This is grave. And there's a day of accountability. We are excited. We are glad that the government can begin doing what she told the Liberian people when she was campaigning. So we are glad. We are very, very excited because, like the orator described, corruption, weapon of mass destruction. So people are being held accountable for their actions, their stewardship. We are very, very, very happy. I'm excited today that a new day in our country. This is a new day in our country. And when we begin to do these things, our country will move a step forward. And I'm happy that this invitation was extended me the right time on the day the government indicted Samuel Twe and the rest of the people that stole public money. They should go now to the court to exonerate themselves. The government said they are living bodies. That's what the rate of arrest said. Their living bodies should be brought before the court. So they also have some privileges to get their lawyers so they can go through whatever they've been accused of. And this is a new day for our country, a day of reckoning. So Magdalene, we all should be excited because it's a good thing for us. Like what this government is doing, they themselves should be cognizant that after they should have left power, these are things that will be, instituted if they go the way those are being sought after. If they go away, that's it. If they do the same, but we are confident that Ambassador Joseph Newman Parker,
there will still be people. There will still be people who will do the thing, but it left with the administration to institute, those measures.
Yeah, these are all precedents.
They're going to be people. They are going to be people because people forget so soon.
Absolutely.
Yeah, people forget so soon, and we will not. We will not remind you. You know, that will tell you.
Absolutely. Well, let's begin this conversation.
Yeah, please wait for me. I do you say I'm in charge, Abel?
Absolutely. You the boss there. You the boss there. Electricity girls love power.
Yeah, but I mean just to calm me down a
Yeah.
little bit.
That's it. I mean, we can wait because what is obtaining in our country is a day of reckoning when people are accountable for their stewardship.
Okay, so that's that should be something that we should continue to preach. We should continue to hope for.
Yeah.
And the issue of accountability.
Absolutely.
Yes, and people. Okay, but let's begin the conversation. Just waiting for this to open. So reimagine Liberia. This is something that the guest, our orator, not guest, but our orator mentioned almost every time in her speech. Me reimagine. Isn't this the word, right?
That's what reimagine.
So
to make a new, to think again.
Okay, that's
what it means, to think again, to look again, to make a new. When you reimagine, the word it means you do it again. Reimagine. She's telling us, let's look at our country once again. Let's see where we've come from, where we are in terms of our attitude, the way we conduct ourselves. So she's telling the Liberian people, let's sit down, let's reflect, let's look at where we've come from. 1822, this country was founded. So we passed 200 years now. We got 1822 and 2022, that 200 years. So 1822, the country was founded, but we got our independence, 1847. So Dr. Raptel Nije Pele, and Boko Pali, no, it's Pele.
No, it's Pele.
Yeah. So she...
It's a Bassa name, right?
Yeah, it's a Bassa name. She has reawakened the consciousness of Liberians. She has reinvigorated the resolve of Liberians. The speech was such as a speech of reflection, to look back as to where we've come from as a country, where we are, where we intend to go, challenging the leaders of our country and the citizens. That was a good speech. So
are you sure that was a good speech? Yeah, the entire speech?
Yeah, except not the speech in itself, except with the few percentage with respect to the statement that was issued or that was levied against the American without any backing. That we will come to. But when you look at the speech, because orations are meant for the reawakening of the conscience of the people. It's meant to reflect, to have a sober reflection. You know, she said a lot of good things in the speech, with the exception of the statement that was made against the American that she could not back. It was not substantiated, something we frown out. But she said a number of things that we're going to delve in. If we can complete them, we'll complete them another time. But there are a lot of good things she said. So we'll begin with them. So reimagining is to look again, is to make a new, is to raise the consciousness, is to reflect, is to look back and to see where we've gone wrong. What can we do to solve some of what we've made mistakes on, and to set a new agenda? Because you're talking about reimagine Liberia. Just think, close your eyes and open it, and how you want to see a new Liberia where motorcyclists will observe.
Okay, that's why I want to ask you what
where motorcyclists will observe the traffic rules and regulation, where leaders of our country would not engage in deep corruption, public stealing, where Liberia themselves will elect noble people to public offices, where corruption will now be systemic, where the rule of law will be used for the betterment of our country. That is reimagined, where people will know their constitutional authority. Article 1 gave us and laid the basis for what we as Liberians need to do. So when you look at reimagining, the plenty thing we're supposed to look at, that our resources will not be given to the concession agreement without the benefit coming back to the Liberian people, where our roles will be prioritized, where the Liberianization policy will be elevated, that Liberians will benefit and they will not be spectators. When you talk about reimagine Liberia, where the basic necessity that's supposed to benefit the Liberians, such as water, electricity, roads, health, education, just name it, that the people in Bongonima, in Foya, in Bogonjele, in River Sands, in Fishtown, in Grand Cru, in Cape Mount, Bomi, River G, and other places will feel the impact of their government. When you talk about reimagining, where the taxes will work for the people, that the children will no longer sit.
Do you think taxes can work for us?
Yeah.
Do you think we can be able to
Yeah.
raise we when people pay taxes, those taxes can be enough to help to rebuild?
That's how it's supposed to be, because the responsibility of the citizen is to pay their taxes, and then those taxes should be used for the betterment of the people, because you pay your taxes, you should have good roads, you should have good
But
healthcare.
yeah, how many people are employed? How many businesses are running strong enough to pay
Then go
taxes?
beyond just employment. Do you know we need to pay real estate tax? How many persons paying taxes for their land and their houses?
But it all boils down to employment, because even if you have a land and you're not working, how will you even be able to?
No. It doesn't stop you from paying taxes if you have a land. The fact that you're able to purchase a
Oh,
land.
wait, where will you get the money from?
No, but that's the law. You
Is
can't
it?
have property.
Oh, look, Abel, the thing is, so I know it's a law. I know it's a law. How many people you got in this country working?
It's not about how many persons working. That's why to live in a city or in a country, you have a responsibility.
But how that's the law. I respect the law.
How do you expect government to pay the civil servant and to develop? Where you expect them to get the money from? People need to pay taxes. So, and some of the
So
taxes.
if someone or people are not in power, how do they be able to contribute to to nation building?
There are different ways people pay taxes. You and myself pay taxes, through the gasoline we purchase. Through
Yes,
some other means.
I mean,
one way.
I'm
If you have land,
talking about the land you're talking about. I'm talking about properties, right?
The fact that you can acquire property, that means you can pay tax.
Okay,
Some of the tax for the whole year, you won't believe it. Some are $27 the whole year for your house, depending the value of the house. Some of the taxes for the year, for the whole year, some are $37. We're supposed to pay because that's how government generates revenue. That's one way.
And what you think is actually discouraging people from paying taxes?
Yeah, one of the things that discourages somebody from paying tax is the use of the taxes for the benefit of those who pay the taxes. For example, you think we're supposed to be struggling now for roads in our country? Because when you and myself were not born, people were paying taxes. But look at the road to the southeast. How the government had come to intervene small. See the suffering the people went through and are still going through in some form and shape. So when people pay taxes, they should have good road, and then they should have good hospital. Look, with the level of resources we have in our country, government hospitals are supposed to be free. All pregnant women are supposed to go to hospital free. The old people are supposed to go to hospital free. The children are supposed to go to hospitals free. That's how it's supposed to be. That's why we congratulated the government for indicting people who stole public money. And the way the revolution has started, we want to encourage the government to continue. Those who stole in past government and now, and those who attempt to steal should be held responsible for their stewardship. With that, you will be setting some precedent. So, reimagining.
Okay, let me read a few lines from the speech, and then we continue. In addition to prosecuting people in a soon-to-be established national anti-corruption code, we must also remove corruption-inducing expenditure from our budget, such as inflated salaries for elected and appointed officials, imported vehicles, fuel, and scratch card allotments. These funds should be reallocated to incentivize doctors, nurses, teachers, police officers, Yeah, she said teachers, but teachers in parentheses for me, I also add voluntary teachers. I mean, in general, right? Police officers who serve in honor source regions of this country.
And I
So
agree. And I
yes,
agree with her. Imagine every 3 years you have the legislature allocating 45,000 out of for a vehicle. This is one of the things she's saying, that you you divert that kind of money to the people so the people can benefit. When you do that, then you are reimagining Liberia. Why would you want to buy a car for the 5,000 every 3 years? So let's take, for example, a senator or a representative, 6 years. So a senator goes 9 years. So you have to buy a car for him almost 3 times, 3 different times. 45,000 times 3. You know what you're talking about? You are talking about 135,000, if I'm not mistaken, for just a senator. So look in the villages, in the town, does a clinic in Foya receive that kind of money for paracetamol? Because you can say for all of the medical supplies. So she said, let's reduce it. She even talked about cutting down the salaries of lawmakers to 20%. 20%. So she was right, and I agree with her. So when we begin to reimagine Liberia, these are some of the steps we need to take. Cut down the salary by 20%. Remove the unnecessary line, those allocations that don't make sense. Why would you want to give a senator who lives in Maserado or a representative who lives in Maserado $3,000 gas, for heaven's sake? Yes, they are public officials, they need to be, they are entitled to some benefit. But because our country has suffered for a very long time, so can we reimagine by cutting down? All of us have said this. So the orator came and re-emphasized what we said. So I agree with her when she talk about cutting down some of the benefits of the legislators, including their salary 20%, and then removing those lines that have to do with all of those expenditures, 3,000 gas, legislative consultancy fee, and then all of those stuff that the citizens themselves supposed to benefit. And she did not stop that. She said it should be given to the people through health, through different means, the
yeah,
educational sector. So she
yeah,
provided a solution. After she said, let's remove that one aspect. So I agree with her on that part. When we begin to do that, then we reimagine Liberia. And thankfully, I listened to some of the lawmakers. Some of them have agreed already. Senator Dillon agreed. Snow agreed. Musa Bedete agreed. In fact, Musa Bedete was very bold. He agreed that we need. Musa Bedete is bold, and other people, they said we have agreed. Initially, Senator Snow said he wanted more money. But after the speech, Snow now have come to the realization that the money needs to be cut. So we want to see lawmaker making 5,000. 5,000. It's okay. And then remove that 45,000 out of car every 3 years. Let's give that car to the different clinics and hospitals in the name of ambulance. Then when you have those services and the people are benefiting, then you are reimagining Liberia. You see that? So we agree with that part that is the lines that are in the budget should be reduced and diverted to the people. We agree. And thankfully, most of the legislators have agreed to that aspect. So we passed that. We agree. We agree to that. We agree to that. And we are very, very strong when it comes to that. If you remove that, for example, and you go way to the St. Timothy Hospital in Rappersburg, Kidmouth, and you increase the medical supplies in Kidmouth, including an X-ray machine, CT scan, and all of the essential drugs, and then you pay the nurses and the doctor there very well, there will be no need to refer patient to JFK. Because the time you want to take to start referring patient to JFK is threatening. The person might die on the road. Imagine some of the counties that are very hard to reach. You don't even have an ambulance. Women giving birth on the road. Imagine a country with the age 177, and you still find our sisters, our mothers giving birth on the road. So So the orator said, let's reimagine Liberia. Let's think again. Let's cut down the
So
legislature.
yeah,
Let's cut down.
so reimagine Liberia. So we now to tell you that with what you just said concerning mothers, pregnant women giving birth on the road because I know of the viral condition, and sometimes no even in town yet we do not. Sometimes the last time I received some young people, they came here and they said they went to one of the health centers in Montserrat, a few steps away from where I am or we are. They asked them to put fuel in the ambulance before they could go and pick up their sick patient.
Can you imagine?
I mean that's in Montserrat.
It happened with Emmett Hammond in Kakata.
Yeah, Emmett too. Yes.
Kakata City.
Yeah.
Actually, Kakata is the city.
Emmett Hammer bought a few on. I do not want to call help center name, right?
But you don't even have. So you see, so that's why
he bought few on for before they could even start to do on surgery right on his wife, which was life threatening.
So I agree with that part of the speech that said budget line should be removed. Let's remove it, including the $45,000.
And I told her today, we're having this a wonderful conversation. No. And we agree on penalties today.
Yeah, I could go along some places with this.
But let's look at where you don't agree with this orator.
Where I don't agree?
Yeah, let's look at that.
Yeah, where I don't agree with the orator, she was disingenuous to have said that, truth be told, and I'm quoting her verbatim, truth be told, America has taken more than what she's giving to Liberia without any backing. I think as a scholar, one of the things we expect her to have said, and give a bit of evidence. For example, visa fees used to be $160. And you find sometimes 200 person register, go to the GT bank, you pay your visa fee. And sometimes you go for visa interview, sometimes 3, 4, 5 person out of the 200 person will be issued visa. But then the money is not refunded. So their visa fee is $185 US. Sometimes 90% pay for visa fee, and those money are not given back when they fail the interview. So she would have cited instances, but she did not give any substantive backing. That was a blanket statement. We cannot blame people for.
But it was intended to give you the opportunity to go and do your research.
You don't do that as a scholar. You don't can you give blanket statement. Besides that, why should we be at age 177? Why should we be depending on another country to do what we're supposed to do? Why should we be depending on another country? In as much that no man's an island, but it's not America that told Liberia to allow the truck to be passing through a city with iron ore. That America told, Western Cluster to be passing with truck through the city with iron ore. That Western Cluster told Samuel and the rest of the people to pollute, the economy of our country. That Western Cluster told Mr. President, the former president, to build the 49 condominium and the home on 9th Street. Is that Western Cluster told us to steal the 25 million and the 30 million stimulus package that America told us to do all of the corruption with them? Look at the other report, damaging other report that have come out. That America told us to be selling in the street, leave the market and come and dead to the street. Is that America? So America has a role to play. We acknowledge that. We understand as a country, no country is an island. But if you come to speak at this age, we should stop shifting blame. America is responsible for Liberia. No, this is a sovereign nation. For a scholar not to have done a proper research and levied a blanket allegation against a country that's also a sovereign nation, it was unfair to the Americans. And we will come to the American side. It was unfair to the American. We should not be at this age depending on America. Let me tell you, my brother or my sisters, those who are following, when we stop shifting blame for our irregularity, our inability, for our irresponsibility, we will move forward. Right now, all Liberians, including our leaders. Our leaders play a major role. Concession
So,
agreement come here, but
so,
they not play a
so,
major role.
so, about where is the lie? Everything you say, you are actually in agreement
No,
with
I'm not in
her.
agreement with
You
her.
are you know how you are in
I'm not in
agreement.
agreement with her.
You know how you are in agreement with
No,
her because just the same thing that you are saying. That's why she's saying yeah.
no, she did not say the
We
same thing the way we're saying it here. She's blaming. She's shifting blame.
She said we must disabuse ourselves of the notion that we have a special relationship, meaning we should all relax and get all of the support
And then she continued.
from.
That's a whole statement she made there.
Yes,
What
okay.
made that statement bad
Mhm.
when she said that truth be told, to start shifting blame and blaming America.
But
I mean,
that's the kind of notion we have here.
yes,
And she's trying to disabuse our mind to tell us that we should not always be saying we have special relationship with America. So we should all relax and get all of the support. Our education sector should be fully sponsored by the US government. The health sector, the same thing. The security sector, the same thing. So we should disabuse our
so
minds.
when you operations are meant to inspire people, not to throw tantrum, not to accuse people. You must reawaken the consciousness of the people and invoke the spirit of productivity. So we know exactly that the speech differ. You call our partner, and you said to them in such form and manner. That was not appropriate to have said what you said because she was attempting to shift blame. You can't do that at 177.
It was trying. It is trying. She actually trying to caution you.
Corruption, greed, impunity, illiteracy, stupidity, recklessness, lack of management got us to be where we are today. We're supposed to conduct ourselves properly. We were just here, 30 million stimulus package. Did America intervene? 30 million. Where did we see stimulus package? 30 million. Today you got lawmakers and some of the former government officials got truck into Western Union. They got a truck higher. You got former government officials and current government officials with schools. Today, Representative Thomas Farah, the current deputy speaker, his school is charging $225 US. That means the current deputy speaker, $225 US for graduation fee. But this man is the deputy speaker. Imagine that. So is that America responsible for exploiting your own people? America is responsible for exploiting your own people? No. The point I'm trying to drive at, we all should take responsibility, including the orator. Today, she left 2 days ago for London. She doesn't live here. She would have come here to contribute at some of our universities. But again, we all got choices. She lives in London. She's not an American citizen, but she commutes between America and London. So we all should take responsibility. She cannot be shifting blame, and we should not be shifting blame. We, as Liberians, including all of the leaders in our country, should take responsibility for the mess we find ourselves. If we were very, very studious, we would not have allowed some of the things that are happening. Today, Chinese men selling sand. That Chinese men will be selling sand in our country. You understand? Chinese men will be selling black. We are not trying to be racist. But look at the Liberianization policy. We are not implementing the laws we have on our books. We allow people to come and exploit our country, and then we intellectualize it. It is about time that we rise up. It is about time that we reinvigorate our resolve to do what is appropriate. We must take charge of our own destiny. Look at the economy. See what is happening. We just corrupting. And like the passage said, corruption is a weapon of mass destruction. Over the last 6 years and other years, see what has happened in our country, Magdalene. We can't be here suffering for roads. All of the hospitals in Liberia are supposed to be free because of the resources we have here. But if we be shifting blame, America responsible for this, America responsible for this, America responsible for that. I mean, it doesn't sound well for us. Ghana and other countries.
I want us to look at the positivity, or let's say, how should I put it? I want us to look at the beginning of what what she said concerning 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 America, right? The she was at the beginning of that paragraph. She wants us Liberians to stop being lazy and stop thinking that, oh yeah, we the people's stepchild. Why can't we look at that too? And and leave the part where she said they have taken too much from us, they have taken too much from us, then they are giving to us.
We need to be strong.
We
We need to be strong.
yeah.
And I agree.
What can you look at that?
We need to be strong because Liberians like complacency. We like free things too much.
Free things. Everything should. Thank you.
You organize a workshop. If you invite some people to say something there for me, meanwhile, the biggest and the greatest thing is the knowledge you want to acquire there. But they want something. See the elections that were conducted. Some people sold their votes. Some people were allowed to be trucked. You live Sonny Wayne, and someone took you and you went to Riverside to go and vote. You went and made decision for people in Riverside, and you came by and you sat down. Only because they gave you $20, $30. Even if they are giving you $100, you should not have done so. So to be lazy is wrong. People are not just lazy physically. Some people are mentally lazy.
And
people need to think.
And I mean the conversation is just going, just flowing today, but I agree with that.
Yeah.
So people are mentally lazy.
Yeah.
They're not creative.
Nothing.
They're not creative. They're not thinking how to do. They're not thinking how to go outside of the box and do. So for me, I know that this the last part of this paragraph has actually sparked a lot of mixed reactions, including, I think you heard me talking about John Molu. His statement was
to speak. That's how they express themselves.
Of course. I mean, I respect freedom of expression, but it comes to responsibilities as well.
That's true. So let me go to the American part. We're going to talk about the orator statement against the Americans.
So to you and the rest, I mean, see the beginning part of this speech as something that do not have this in your mind that, oh yeah, we liberate America step. Can you please put that thing on?
Go ahead.
Yeah, can you see the relationship disabuse your mind that this entire relationship between Liberia and stop being lazy. That America, yeah, we're looking up for donor partner and stuff like that. I attended a meeting once at a high profile meeting, and we were having this discussion and preparing for this very important project coming up. And I asked, how much will our government contribute to this project? And I got to know that most of what will be contributed, or most of what will be allocated to that stuff is going to come from international partners. And I mean, like, what are the citizens going to also contribute? Because this is, at the end of the day, everybody going to benefit one way or the other.
Absolutely, I agree with that. I agree exactly with what you said. This is what we need to do as Liberian. Remove ourselves from that dependency syndrome and move. Look at some Liberian. They got some good soil behind their house. How many persons is here planting potato greens? People leave you got a black soil behind your house, but then you leave the soil and go 24 hours to Raleigh, other places to buy potato greens. That's an act of laziness. We realize ourselves so much. That's why you see the Fulani, not to look down, not to be xenophobic. The Fulanis and other nationals come here and they steal the show from us. You see, a Fulani man comes from Guinea or somewhere, he can't open a small Atai center. And then all Liberians come and sit there. And after 2-3 years, you see that man open a shop. From the shop, he open a store. So we need to rise up, open our eyes, leave the dependency syndrome, and do something that will elevate our statuses.
So now it goes back to it goes back to the government, the administration that you supported to victory.
Yeah.
So 85%, I would say, according to me, rests on the shoulders of this government to provide livelihood, to provide opportunities for people.
I agree.
Because if you don't do it, well, how will they be able to contribute to nation building?
It is the responsibility of every government, because when you take over as a social contract, that brings me to the point where she said the decent web bill should be revised from 143 to $250. That is, labor should be respected. She said, that was that there are many things she said, good things. You can pay people $143.
A whole month.
A whole month. You who hear $100 is small for you for 1 week.
Look, this dress on me is $45 US.
I just think $100 is very small for you the whole week. Not that you want to leverage it because you got transportation, you got food, and then you got other expenditure.
Just
So,
the hair on my head.
$100. Then you
No, I say 100, please.
Then you talking about people with family, you pay them $143. In the last government, people are making $50 out of me.
A whole family. And they have to pay children's school fees. They have transportation, eat breakfast, medication, and everything. And people suffering in their country.
So she has proposed that we need to pay people who work $250 US. Is that enough? No, but it's a starting point.
Even 250 is so
enough. No.
Yeah, but we can start from there. Yeah.
At least a family of 3 or 4 can start with that as we continue. Why would you want to give one person 20,000 and then you give a policeman 150? I think we need to pay police people $500 minimum. A police officer $500. Teachers, well qualified, competent teachers supposed to take the scene at $500. Nurses, well competent, qualified nurses, not the 2x4 one. Supposed to pay the same amount. With that, you will stimulate the process, and then you will allow people to go even to the leeward county to work to sacrifice.
Yeah,
that's how it's supposed to be. So I agree with that portion that saying that the decent wealth bill should be revised from 143 to $250. That's how it's supposed to be. We agree, and we want the government to take heed. We want the government to look at some of the recommendations, some of the proposals she made. Coming back to the statement she made, it was disrespectful, right? For the sachet effects to have walked out of a ceremony where a certain president and a certain visiting president, inclusive of the president, the speaker, the chief justice, and other serious-minded leaders of our country.
No, but why are you limited it to our country?
No, but I said a certain president.
Yeah, I know,
and
but
a certain president.
Yes, also.
They all were seated. That was an act of disrespect. And we are calling on the sachet affair, Madam Catherine, to apologize. An apology will be good. You cannot behave like that. If President Joe Biden speaking and our ambassador from Washington seated, and he says something about Liberia and he walked out, we were rebuking. That was an act of disrespect on the part of the American. We're not going to hide that. We demand an apology for disrespecting the Liberian people. It is in
Liberia, yes, according to our tradition,
it is in effect the Liberian people that were disrespected because the Liberians are the one that elected President Joseph Jomo Boakai.
Yeah.
So the Liberian people were disrespected. America is not heavy. They need to be criticized as well. But if they did something that warrant criticism, they need to be criticized, such as the walking out of the sachet affair. You are not even the ambassador. You are just holding on. We seriously frown at the attitude of
no. I don't want you to look. I don't want no, please. That's somebody I admire. I don't want you to look down on that position. The sachet affairs represent yes. I want you to see it as that. No. I mean, she's in charge. She's in charge.
Yeah, but I want that she's holding on.
Yeah, but don't say she's not even. You know, like you are trying to.
You are not the ambassador, but you are holding on. We should call a spade a spade. She's holding on. A sachet affair is different from an ambassador.
I understand.
But when she's here, she's representing her country, right?
Of course, that's it. But that's it.
The sachet affair is different from an ambassador.
I understand the difference.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that she represents her country. Yeah. And I think we're cool with that.
We respect that. So we disagree with her and we call her to apologize. We are calling on the sachet affair to apologize. She did not treat our country well, especially on our birthday. That is our birthday. Even if she disagree with a private citizen, Dr. DJ Pele is just a private citizen.
A private citizen. Yeah. Everything she said.
Her opinion. That's just her opinion. It is not a policy of government. And the government has already distanced herself, from the oration made. And I mean, citizens all around the country have got the right to speak and express their opinion. If
And
that
we
was an
respect
opinion
that.
expressed, that's how she sees it. And, so you cannot disrespect the country because a citizen expresses her mind or his mind. It's not good. Besides that, no one should be afraid. The policy of America is not follow on a mere statement from an individual. If the government issue a policy, that this is the policy of our government, that America has done nothing yet, that becomes a policy. But a statement from an individual who is expressing herself should not be taken otherwise. It's just too many. Like we started looking deep down into the speech.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you see
yeah.
some of the things you said, remove the 143 and replace it with $250 for people working, man. And they cannot get what they're working for. We are calling on Ambassador Joseph Newman Barker, our black president, to look into this recommendation. It's very important. She also talked about the War and Economic Crimes Court.
These are all important
Yeah,
things as
she
well. She
said
said.
the processes that led to the selection of Councilor Massacre was dubious. That's what she said. She said civil society did not participate. When you read her speech, I read her speech. She said,
I got it. I've been playing with it the
very
whole
good.
time.
She said that process needs to be looked at again. So civil society can participate.
So we're about to take course. We're about to take course.
Which is good, and we know that. We just disagree with her, and when it comes to the statement she made without any substantial evidence to have said that America is responsible for Liberia, so to speak. No country is responsible for Liberia. Our problem is corruption, systemic corruption, greed, incompetence, lack of management, impunity. People do things that go scot-free. If people were being punished from the past up to now for stealing and for committing atrocities, and this country would have gone forward. I have proposed that people who committed huge atrocities in this country, including murdering people, stealing, they should be denied of public position. That one way you can send a message. Okay. When some of our Liberians let people, we too got some problems. We should look at ourselves. So the orator raised a consciousness. She reawakened our soul to think better. Liberians need to think better. Stop selling in the street. Look at Kakata said it. Magdalene, you go Kakata, it's filthy. The people left the market, they came right on the road.
They're there. I was passing there, man.
They're selling everything right
on the road, yeah.
You got the motorcyclists, most of whom refuse to live by order and system. You get Liberian people supposed to go to work 8:30, they go to work 11 o'clock and leave from there 2 o'clock. And they expect to be paid. These are the same people, that talk to government. Government doesn't want to pay. Look at the hospital. The hospital needs to be monitored. I got problem. If you give drugs to JFK and after 3 months, no drugs there, you fire the management, you fire the health minister, it will get serious.
You said give drugs.
Yeah.
Yes.
You say give drugs. Then after some time, no drugs to JFK. No drugs are redemption.
So the issue of
the JFK management.
The issue of monitoring and evaluation is poor. That's where one of that's where that plays a serious challenge in our country. People just relax, because if you are monitoring and carry on evaluation, people will be on the alert to know that
decisive action. No, if I am Joseph Barker, the president, if I am the president, look, I will not appoint any minister of health who has hospital or clinic.
Conflict of interest.
I will not do it.
Is that happening? Is that happening? The minister of health guy?
I don't know whether the current minister has a medical facility that she's running. I don't know. I don't have evidence. But if I am the president, any minister of health would not be
happening in a past administration, right?
Because you will divert your attention to where you have your private property instead of the government property. And then the management of JFK, those who are managing JFK, if you have hospital or drugstore or clinic, I will not appoint you. Would you begin to take decisive action? This country has suffered for 177 years. We keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. It doesn't work.
Okay, so now let's interact with the public. Next, I will be having conversation with a diplomat. Yes, Gabriel Williams, who he got some recommendations for to recommend to the Boakai Combs administration to avoid a diplomatic crisis. I don't know what he means by Yeah, man. What do you mean by that? They almost know her thing. She's a private citizen. That statement doesn't have anything to do with our relations.
Yep,
Nothing.
yeah, but it doesn't have nothing to do with our
No.
relation. But you got to be careful as a private citizen when you are called to national functions, because some national functions are meant to create the awareness, that attractiveness that will reawaken the soul, the mind, the body of Liberian to wake up, to inspire them. So you don't go to national function and start accusing and throwing tantrum on people. You can do that differently, but to go at a national function where people are seated, it's not like you go to a national finance setting and then you start to castigate her instead of conscientizing those who went to the program. July 26th is our independence. We should not be the way we are right now as Liberian. We can't be here.
But do you know this?
One country with one international airport, 177 years, Ghana just constructed a new airport. It's different from Kotota Airport. And we are
So
sitting here.
so it's like what the US government have been actually pumping into our economy. They need a double up.
So we expect
They,
her
they,
to have said,
they need a double up.
America
On
is
a
doing
serious
well.
note.
America is doing well, but please increase your support. We even afraid to even catch road. They see America is the one that preventing people who have stolen from Liberia, and they are putting them on
So
sanctions.
America now needs to double up.
So very good.
America needs to double up. What they have been giving to us, we appreciate.
But we can't depend on them. Let's use the resources we are getting from here.
We will use it, but we want this America to be this Liberia. America. No, that's my own view. That's
let us be responsible.
We will be responsible. We will be responsible, but we're also telling them I want us to be independent. You know, this issue of dependency, something always raised on it for people to be strong, mentally strong, to be able to be creative in doing things, to find solutions instead of look. I work before we take course. I work with a lot of young people. I always tell them the reason why we come to work is to find solution. So when I tell you to do something, don't come back complain to me and telling me say, oh, you can't. Let's recommend solution. I know it's not easy. There are times it's not difficult. But let us find solution instead of telling me say, oh, they won't get happy. Oh, this won't get happy. With regards to the issue of motorcyclists, I know these people need to be managed. They need to be trained, and the government needs to put their foot down to ensure that they take most of the guys from the because or else we check 5-10 years from now we're going to lose most of our guys.
It's not good to see what happening with
these guys insulted me on Friday, 3 of them in row. On a serious note, that thing hurt me. No, all because I was driving on bright light up. You know the rock hill over there is so dark, and taking the place so bad. Why did we get drive now? I've been driving for almost 5 years. Please. And guys, they felt comfortable. And I said, oh my God, those guys really insulted me. Some of you are listening right now. Some of you can be playing through everything when I sit, but they insulted. And I left them. I didn't say a word to tell you that we are losing people.
But honestly, yes. we need some regulation in our country, but we need to take charge of our destiny. See the market women, see the motorcyclists, see ourselves Liberian. We don't follow order. The Liberian people who refuse to follow law and order in their country, the moment they step their foot on any sort, that's how they start following the rules and regulations. Why is it that it's so difficult? You know why? Because no consequences. People are not punished for their action. It's just simple. No, the day we start to punish people in Liberia, there will be some semblance of order in our country. That's the only reason why people refuse to take law and order, because people are not punished. That's all.
All right. So you can place in your call. I don't know why the Magdalene say calm down. I don't know what you mean by that. But let me take half I'll be on the line forever. Hello?
Good afternoon, Magdalene.
Yeah, what you been harassing me lately?
I've seen your text that I wanted to.
But you can't wait for the appropriate time. We got time to call you. You think you get exclusive right on the show, yeah?
I want to engage my brother at the same time. Don't worry about the meaning. For you, always they give you money. But for me, I want to go ahead for the next 1 hour. So you should allow me to engage Blackie.
Yeah, but Corona here.
Yeah,
Mayor.
Blackie is seeing that the U.S. embassy is charging money, and then the woman should give a proof. Is that not one of the proofs? You're talking about Firestone that have been here ever so long. They got houses that do not resemble even the pigs house. People are there, no current. Is that not one proof? She don't have to go. Oh God.
What proof you take? Let me respond to you guys.
Your credit finish, tell me.
Yeah, so
What proof then you didn't recharge?
no, but I recharge. I'm not off. Now, talking about the president and the watching out, she really insulted us as a country, and she should have done that. To walk
She should have done that?
She shouldn't.
Oh.
The president should be the first person to leave the hall. But instead, she said to hell with everybody, and she walked out.
Yeah, we acknowledge that. We said that.
President and John Manu is sitting there only because he's sitting in the United States and insulting the lady.
No, I have not spoken.
These things that people sit on the radio and insulting people like
You respond, I will.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, he insulted a lady. Oh, he really used the meaning. Yeah, that's out of order. It's out of order. Yeah, it's out of order. Oh, it's out of order. Yeah, John Molu. I will show it to you. I got it. I got everything printed. Yeah, my whole head is into the whole thing. Yeah, how you doing, Chief? Hello.
Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, fine. Yeah, please go on.
Okay, on the conversation for lower mic.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let me just think. Actually, I'm having a conversation, and we could answer to open either. And actually, love the details of which is named. When you said something that caught my attention, I said, let me friend in the country. One thing I go on a daily basis, the issue of the culture of impunity.
Okay.
You know, people just think. And then walk away. One thing I've noticed is from the time of going like Brand, I know the they put the main table here. And I think to be frank, without an angle and meeting myself, they will always drink. One day, then they push money gas in jail. Because we don't appreciate them to be shit. That is so for all what we see now. We now start to nurture our job to making them understand that as a leader, the best and easy way to avoid corruption is always avoid things that are your. But in a broad dealer, they are not friends. Because the culture of impunity, the people see that not the issue of culture of impunity is something that we have to look at. You look at when let's say there's some to it. When the whole country won't just take everything to it.
You got evidence for that? You said the money that belongs to the whole country may take it.
Yeah, it's evidence.
So the issue of the corruption is something that we have to be thinking better on a daily basis now. We on the angle that we not trying to people the next 4 5 years when they come in government, what the market they come out with. Because now you know what they want to say government is pretty good share.
Okay. All right, Chief. Thanks for placing your call. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. I am fine.
See, Magdalene, one way are the others, what the other caller is saying, blaming, anyway, I'm proud one at you. Blaming Firestone, same Firestone being here, Firestone has not have nothing to show. One way or the other, I can tell you will not blame Firestone. You blame our leaders. So if you and I sign an agreement, I bought land, I get my land, I get a deed. You sign an agreement that you want to do something on my land, and we come to an agreement that you must do this on the land for a family. And then time comes, you start to do whatever project that you want to do and forget about the agreement that you and I signed. It is not giving me a warrant to even terminate the contract with you, or should I continue with you? Why is it that we should continue blaming Firestone? Firestone here, why is it for people, but now you will believe Firestone? You will believe on the people, but they signed the agreement, they know the terms and effect of the agreement. So there is no need. The major problem that has with the entire process is the U.S. ambassador said that it's for freedom of speech, but she did not cover the freedom of speech because if you can recall, when Donald Trump called the African a shithole country, what was her statement to what the other times? When Donald Trump referred to African leaders that they are an animal, even though she made the reason that he said they are an animal, for what she did say at the time, if she was in that gathering, which because Donald Trump was in sort of was referring to Africa in a manner, she never knew that is not something to even sugarcoat.
Okay, thanks for blessing.
She's not just an ambassador, she behaving like that. She become proper ambassador, and then she will do worse than that.
All we know, the woman is there representing America. You're the woman in position business. The woman is in charge. All right. Okay, so yeah, my chief, I have to let you go. Sorry, you went that way. Yeah, so Rob Lendy. Hello. Hello.
Protecting your freedom.
Oh, oh, hello. I'm sorry. The calls are just too many in the afternoon. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Can we take it from this end? Hello. Hello. Okay. Yeah. Please go on.
Yes, also you to personal event so my name is Joe Amwat. I'm going around and running the national airport.
Yes, sir.
But this Magdalene, and you officially asked for the short point. But if you some of us, we don't do a session with what we do our country, this one fight some of us that few of us disappointed. And that be my imagination. America who preaches the democracy, who will read one part of democracy. We don't want to allow people to exercise freedom of expression. You know, man, I don't think it's well to the country that you represent like this.
Okay. All right. We'll be looking up for the press release on the embassy. Liberian people, they respect it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Chief, how you doing? Hey, Chief.
I want to say thank you again. And let me ask for what Ibra Blackie said. You know, for Liberia to be 177 at this point, and we are still thinking about generating revenue, the strategy to use. I see that as if those that are serving in this real government position lack the education, lack the mentor. Because 177 years at this time, we should look for strategy. The revenue portion that's a big generator for real estate. It should have been function.
Okay.
There should be regulation.
All right.
And we'll keep talking to government so that they can rectify this mistake. If they not do it, we'll get them to do it.
Okay, Chief. Thanks for placing your call. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, Chief, how you doing? Yes, sir. Yeah, go straight to the point. Oh. Huh.
Example in the Firestone. Yeah, the in a lot of you see America boost our country internet. You see we are all educated. We are not some people should read. There's a lot of insult on our nation. But still, we can't use America. America have not benefited or anything. Thank you very much.
I know. Like people speak you. Yeah, can you put it? Yeah. Okay, we'll take the last call. I mean, the calls are just so many. We're running into another segment. Hello?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yes, Chief. You gotta change your location. Where you are at the... Yeah, please.
Chris Momo, thank you for your studio guest. I think it's even right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Magdalene. I'm screening, but I'll go through. All right, I think the woman did well. Like the Billy did well. And for working out, it was not necessary, a country. This country is a democratic country in Western Africa as a whole. Where that democratic came from? It came from the great United States of America. America should be very proud of this country. But you see, my sister, we cannot go in for little. To be frank, that was why we started from here because, like I told you, I have a degree in sociology. The government told me that in development, there was exploitation here in Africa. But when I read that, for me, I said that this was like bigger because this was where, the gold, the iron ore, meaning the rubber came from. You see? So, let us get to know that get the same. I back him for what he said that we need to stand up.
Okay. All right. Chief? Hello? Yeah, so my people, sorry, we can't take calls now. The calls are just so many. We have another segment. Just keep all of your comments for the next segment. And Mr. Gabriel Williams is already in studio. Yeah, so you listen to the callers. I mean, they might in support.
Yeah,
and they even reminded us about the statement that came from Donald Trump.
The buttress our presentation. For example, look at the legislature. Both the House and the Senate, no functional website. She also talked about that.
And this is something
disgrace.
But
then they are allocating 45,000 every 3 years for car, but they have no functional website.
This is something that the platform has raised over and over. Yeah.
We should talk about that. To have the public house that represent the people.
When I check on the South African website, the parliament, I mean, you get all of the information. Just type it and you see. When I see it, I feel jealous. Constructively, I say I wish I could go and see Barry Anders what actually he's doing over there. Because I was actually standing behind him when I was standing at the back. Well, most of them were. And
it's painfully frustrating.
Yeah.
She also talks about the NASCAR. That NASCAR should be overhauled.
So I mean, actually today's conversation is ready. Almost everything we are in agreement with that.
The only disagreement is the Americans should apologize for disrespecting our country. You cannot have our president.
No, but I'm not in disagreement with that.
Very good.
Of course. That's why I started my conversation
because they are the instigator of freedom of expression.
Okay, so close up now. We got
I'd like to say to the government of Liberia, congratulations for indicting the former Minister of Finance. And all of those,
And this one is breaking as well. One of those indicted by the City Court for economic sabotage. Councillor Yanati has been arrested and imprisoned at the Monrovia Central Prison.
Very good.
Others, including Samuel Tue, are still being pursued.
Very good. In fact, it's going to be double indictment. You know the issue of Batin Yeswa. So we want to see this thing coming. No. The only reason people
please close up now. We have another conversation coming up.
They want to behave because no penalty. The way President Joseph Boakai have started penalizing people and inviting people and indicting people for their action. Liberia, I know it's going to take some time, but we are on the right path. Look, those who are working, it's going to be a message sent to them. We are happy. We are excited. I'm profusely excited for what we are hearing, but the government needs to do more So we bring out people who brought this country on its knee. Liberia can be 177, and 13 of our 15 counties are without X-ray machines. This is unacceptable. We must move this country forward. And I want to thank you for this invitation. We're going to conclude the speech because the speech is very, very wild. There are a lot of things I would say we need to talk about it. We talk about some, and I'm very, very excited that we can continue to reimagine our country. Liberians, you yourself must wake up. The way we embrace people because they gave us $25 or one better rent,
out.
and that you have the power according to our constitution. Let's stop denying people now. Let's deny those who committed huge atrocity.
All right.
Tell people you stole from the country, and then we elect you. We can reward people for doing that to us. I want to thank you for this invitation. I look forward to more of these engagements, and I want to thank my nephew Christopher Sellee, a very prominent, a very educated, and astute gentleman.
You want to say greetings to Mr. Gabriel Williams? He's on the stream.
Gabriel Williams is my comrade, is my friend. And Gabriel Williams is an astute Liberian who has worked tirelessly in Washington and for our country. He used to be at the Ministry of Information, Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs, and then he went to serve our country in another country. His services are exceptional. Mr. Gabriel Williams, we want to thank you for serving our country. We cannot pay you for your services. And right now, he's also contributing the Daily Observer newspaper, informing the Liberian people.
Daily Observer, Inquirer?
Inquirer newspaper. Where the late, Philip Wilson used to be. We want to thank everyone. There are many contributions this gentleman, have made to our country, and we are proud of him. A young Liberian, I've met him on many occasions. And I want to thank you. Continue your good work. Don't change.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
For us to continue talking peace and non-violence, that means the government is required is only savage attack on an unarmed and defenseless spirit.
Get the best of news, views, and entertainment on True FM 96.1.
Okay, yeah. All right. So we have Mr. Gabriel Williams. Mr. Gabriel Williams is a former senior diplomat who served in the U.S. for nearly 9 years and 2 administrations. He has some recommendations for the Bouaka Kun administration to avoid diplomatic crisis with the U.S. I don't know. It is in relation to what happened over the weekend. Chief, how you doing? Happy Independence Day. We're still in a celebration mood.
Hello.
Yeah. I said we are still in a. Yes, sir, you are.
Okay. My cat was, Royce. My cat was disturbing me a little bit, but he's moved away on the other side of the dining table. Yes.
I just saw him just now.
Yes, he was lying in front of me here. But, belated happy 26th to you, Magdalene, and all of the people of Liberia. We thank God for our country.
Okay, so here we are, and we've been having a discussion from Friday Especially on this platform, people have given their own opinion concerning the oration that was presented by a Liberian young woman for that matter, and too many mixed reactions. I know you've been following, and now you say you got some recommendations. Is that in relation to what happened on the on the weekend, the oration that was presented by Dr. Pele, or is it the 177th, independence celebration that Liberia needs to rethink, or and start to re-strategize?
I think it's all of the above that you just stated because they are all cross-cutting. But
Okay.
before I get into that specifically, let me just say thank you so much, Abel Blackie, who just left. I think he said who just left your program.
Yes, sir.
As I was coming on, I heard him talking. Thank you for your warm words, and we pray, that our country will, get back on the right course. That I will call it. Yes, specifically, to the Independence Day event, which I thought went on very well, with the Ghanaian president and other visiting guests, and very beautiful programs. Those little girls, the one who who the two young ladies, the two little girls who introduced the orator, and one of
Okay.
them, yes, and one of them introduced the occasion, something she read, but they were just really wonderful. Seeing those little young ones showed me that Liberia's future is very
It's
bright.
bright. Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
and then you crown the whole thing with the address by the orator, Dr. Pele, Raptel Nije. In Basel, when they say Nije, it's for your business, for you, about you, Nije.
O-
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why Nije Pele.
Okay.
That's a strong young Basel woman right there, and you can see it, the brilliance of this young lady. And then the Liberian people already gone through the heard from the introduction, her background, educational background. And I would just ask,
Mhm.
Howard University is a world class university where a young lady got her first degree from. It is an institution, that is they do you know. When you talk about intense research, they are research focused, and it's a black, predominantly it's a black, oriented university,
Mhm.
basically a mecca for intellectual ferment, for black, resurgence and knowledge. So I'm not surprised by the extent of a research. And then another person, and I just give you background before I come to your answer. Dr.
Yes, sir.
C. Patrick Boris, eminent scholar, academic, and researcher, who wrote this book, I think between the cola tree and the salted sea, and who recently discovered a rare document, that really affects your Liberia relationship. I don't know specifically what that document is, but it was just a few years ago that made news internationally. So he too, Dr. Boros got his bachelor's degree from Howard University. So you can see, that this is a very great university for research. Now, I will encourage many Liberian with scholarship. The Liberian government can look for scholarship for a lot of our young people to go to universities like Howard. Having said that, Dr. Paley really, really, really touched on those issues, and she is someone who is research focused. The first time I met her, when
Mhm.
she came and began to work at the mansion as an assistant to the president, and
Mhm.
she organized a book event of Liberians who have been authors. I was one of those invited because I had written my first book. It was Dr. C. William Allen, a professor here from Virginia State University, Dr. Ali, former Minister of Information. His book, was there. I think Dr. Ali spoke at that event. A couple of other Liberian authors. It was my first time meeting her. And the poverty reduction strategy. When the government adopted the poverty reduction strategy, when you hear the slogan "Lift Liberia," she was the one who brought out that idea for us to be able to take the project to the people. And I was the one who had represented the Ministry of Information at the first cabinet meeting when the PRS was introduced, the draft was introduced, and I had recommended that we have a media component, to be able to reach out to the people. And the president thought it was a very good idea. Out of that evolved the need for us to do a contest, for to come up with the best, slogan. And it was Dr. Paley. And from there, she went back to school. We met in DC, where she was doing some research on the Liberian diaspora, and then she interviewed me because I was involved on behalf of the government in spearheading some diaspora events, activities that the ambassador had designated me. So just to make it close, to make it shorter, the speech was just right on the mark, and I think it was appropriate. There are things that need to be said. And I told you some time ago, in fact, in our last engagement, my last engagement before the Independence Day, that, the United States is a part of Liberia's unresolved past. And I talk about the cleavages when I say unresolved past, the problems. And we talk about the preamble. And after these people came, they felt abandoned in a place where you have a lot of encroachment in European powers. Many of our neighbors, just about all of our Liberian neighbors, they took Liberian territory because we could not defend them. And and there were ethnic wars. A lot of things were going on. These people felt abandoned. This is why you and myself went back and forth on it. So I'll just leave it there, and if there are further questions, then we'll take it from there with my recommendations and every other thing
Okay,
else.
so overall, you graded the speech as it was mind blowing. It was captivating. It was I mean, she placed it right, but there have been so many mixed reactions from Liberians across mainly in Liberia, and I mean those in the diaspora. But I want to know, as a former senior diplomat, how does this affect the U.S. Liberia relations? If this lady is a private citizen who was invited to serve as an orator.
Yes, this is where it gets very tricky. I'm getting audio back from you. Hello? Hello?
Yeah,
Hello?
I'm trying to fix it. Yeah, I'm trying to
Okay.
fix it. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
trying to fix it. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think it will be better soon. Yeah, just a
All right.
second. Yeah, I'm trying to fix. Yes, you can go on. I will
Yes.
mute and then you speak, and then I
Okay.
will unmute.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Magdalene. Here it is. I had earlier indicated that, this is where it gets very tricky. This young lady is a scholar. She's there to present the things as they are, talk it like it is. It's left with the government, and the policymakers now to sift through it, whatever may have been the issues that she brought about, especially with respect to, our relations with the United States. This is where diplomacy comes in. Diplomacy is an act of managing a country's international relations. It is the act of, dealing with people in a sensitive, in a sensitive and effective way. So this is where the act of diplomacy comes in. What do I mean by that? The government must be pragmatic in dealing with the United States, in this manner. Being pragmatic is, you know, they should, look at these issues, their relationship on based on practical considerations, the reality, what is happening now, you know, and not get, hold down by the unresolved past. This is where effective diplomacy comes in. And I call it, pragmatism and being able to engage the United States government. One of the things I think they could do is I'm glad that the executive mansion, the president has not said anything about it. The executive mansion hasn't come up with anything. I hope they will hold on to that. Everything doesn't rise to the level of the presidency, and people need to understand that.
Yeah, so just to make some clarity, the Minister of Information came up with a statement on Friday after the speech. I think few minutes after the speech was delivered, and said, "Anyone is a private citizen. What she said represent her as an individual, not for the government." That's why I'm asking, how does this affect the U.S. Liberia relations if this woman is a private citizen? She was not speaking for and on behalf of the government, and she even pointed fingers at the president, legislators, and every other sector or segments within our society.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. But in diplomacy, what happened was unprecedented. You have the sovereign. The sovereign is the president, the sitting head of our country. Do you understand why when the president enters a room, nobody leaves or enter? Even if you want to pee, for example, I'm sorry if I take it too extreme, you might have to pee on yourself. I don't know how the rules are in Liberia where everything now being embodied. But when the sovereign enters, it's in a room within a space, you can't move. So, again, that could have been a breach of diplomatic protocol. And I would recommend that the foreign ministry, before you came in with the Ministry of Information thing, yes, I think the Minister of Information was swift. It was good that he came out to say something. But this is something that the foreign ministry must handle. I think they can, I'm sure by now you have a flurry of diplomatic activities or exchange of, diplomatic notes, note verbal, they call it, to the United States. Maybe they will suggest, they will recommend in their diplomatic note or note verbal, requesting the State Department, to recall the deputy chief, the chargé d'affaires for consultations, something like that, and then you take it from there and engage the Americans, because I'm sure by now these people are seeking clarification. That's a private citizen who spoke. But, that was our Independence Day. And she was a national orator. The president was seated. You see? So, there's no way, anybody can say that, it can have serious effect on U.S.-Liberia relationship. I can tell you that if it is not properly managed. And I take you back to President Bouakar's inauguration.
But Chief, let me come in. If what you are saying, if it will, the speech that was delivered on Friday, if it will have any kind of, a negative implication, anything that will affect our relations with the U.S., then they won't be fair with us. They won't be fair with us. Over the weekend, too many things happen, and then others say, "Oh yeah," because some people are in the U.S. They have benefited a lot from America, apart from us as a country. But some of you are in the U.S. You are working, you are, having fun and living your life there. So you are speaking, and you are trying to protect the side of the U.S. Let me put it that way. But this woman, you said it, and we continue to say it. Why? If what was said on Friday, and we notice anything between like the relations that exist between Liberia, or the relationship that exists between Liberia and the US, then they will not be fair to us, because that's a private citizen who was invited to speak on an occasion, an independence occasion, Chief. So we'll be looking to see whether anything funny, then we will have to come up and and express ourselves, because it did not represent the government. She wasn't there as speaking for the government as a private citizen, and you are saying it. So we'll be looking to see anything funny, then we'll get to know and say, but what the woman said, I think America, whole America is taking it too serious.
Oh, Miss Magdalene, I hear
Yeah.
you. I hear you very well.
Yeah, Chief.
Yes. Remember the last time when I was speaking, you said, oh, this Liberian thing, I noticed that you're emotional. There's no way that you can get it. And I look at you now, I
Yeah,
look
yeah,
at you,
yeah,
oh, guess who? Well, here is the deal. Look, I call
yeah,
about the need for pragmatic, diplomacy. Where the government must deal with things sensibly and realistically. To ensure, based on practical consideration, the reality of the time. Yes, the young lady was very well spoken, but some of the things she said have implications for our relationship, the relationship between our most important, bilateral partner, a country with whom we have special relationship. A country, everything America come, when America come, nothing done in Liberia. When the war ended, these people declared over $5 billion of our debt to give us a clean slate. They've been on board, with respect to our reconstruction process. The resources they gave us, it is our own leaders who mismanaged them. We're hearing the report just before I came on, the report from Front Page Africa that they forwarded to me about the arrest of some officials in Liberia. You remember, last week I have emphasized this, something that I said that the president needed to move. This corruption thing, especially in light of recent other reports, where $178 million, just from a few agencies cannot be accounted for. And these people, and I said, it didn't make sense. So if you look at it, yes, again, I come back to the unresolved past. They did whatever they could that didn't go right. But we can't hold on to it to stall our progress. To say that we're not going to move, we're not going to do anything because, these people, they didn't help her in the past, so we're going to hold on to it. This is why I talk about pragmatism. Let's be real right now. How much can you get from them? And as somebody who worked in Washington, D.C., and I worked there for these many years, President Sellee sent me down there. We worked. This is why it's important for the government to pay attention to our embassies. During President Sellee's time, one thing that woman did, the best minds, and Dr. Pele is an example. She recruited the best and brightest minds, to handle our affairs both at home and abroad. And so things went well. It was not that everything was so rosy during Madame's time, but you did not hear contention openly. You never heard anything in the public because the relationship was being managed as prudently as possible. The president herself on course, and she had her people in place to make sure that if there were any issue that they needed to flag, they could flag it. And I was one of them in Washington, D.C. There were instances where the president recalled me for consultation. I came to Liberia just to brief her on issues of significance, which was just for her ears. So you need to do that. Based on that, she will institute policies that will only enhance, the diplomatic ties. Because the issues, by the time those issues were raised by our partners, or even before they raise it, they see changes from the Liberian side and they know that all is well and will proceed. So, it's a give and take. That's why I call it about pragmatism, being realistic, based on the practical consideration or, what it is. If you make these people to hedge in supporting the government, you're creating problem for the country as a whole, not just the Buaga administration. So that's what I'm saying, that it is now time for the best diplomatic minds to get to work to see how this matter can be resolved through diplomatic means. That's all.
What will be your recommendation to the government of Liberia? What should they do now? Because they know, they didn't know that the thing is in the speech here. That they woman here, she was standing so innocent and light makeup, simple dress, and very simple shoes. They didn't know that she had a very power pack, package or power pack speech. So what should they be doing now to ensure that what what was said on Friday during our celebrations, it doesn't affect our relationship? What should the government do?
Let me just repeat again what I said earlier. One, that the Liberian government, if they haven't done it yet, and I will believe that they have done it, you will have, I talk about, diplomatic notes or note verbal, they call it in diplomatic lingua, note verbal. The foreign ministry, I'm sure by now,
You want to say that again?
note verbal.
Okay.
Yeah, they call it note verbal. It's in diplomatic language. And that note
Okay.
verbal, and in our own way, you call it diplomatic note that is sent to the
Okay.
country. Like the foreign ministry now will be in charge of this thing. Contact the State Department, send a note verbal or diplomatic note to the
Okay.
State Department, raising concerns about what happened here. And then, like I said, they could request the State Department to recall their diplomat for consultation. And
Okay.
then, and yes, that kind of engagement. So when they do that, the people will ask their person what happened there. She will explain. The Liberian government people, they will explain that, and then you'll find a way of resolving it. And that's why I talk
Okay.
about pragmatic diplomacy. Pragmatic diplomacy. And that is, being able to deal with things sensibly and realistically, based on practical considerations. That's what I said. Yes, I'm sure you get me clear this time.
Yes, sir. Yeah. when I see you, every time you say something and you're smiling, I see my father. That's how when he sees something so serious, it's striking and he's smiling, but he's being so intentional about it. So I'm just watching and seeing how you are actually putting points through and with so much emotions, but I'm still seeing the smile. But anyway, yes, I hope they take note. I know from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it just long. I think they have been working behind the scenes to ensure that they send out, because on Friday before we ended the show here on Friday, we were looking out to see what the embassy had to say, what the government had to say through the Ministry of Information, and we got it. The minister spoke, we read it, yeah. And then also the embassy, because we're looking at the sea, because I was being very careful, Chief. I had a panel discussion, and I didn't want us to say, oh, the woman walked out of the ceremony. I said, okay, let's leave a space and see whether she respond to what is being speculated, because one of the representatives of Bon County, Madam Wema Briggs Mensa, was asking the U.S. government to recall her. Yes. So I said, but the panelists said maybe it's too fast for them to recall. Let's see. And then I said, but let's see what happens. What she got to say. Maybe it was a coincidence and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we got to know that it was a sign of protest. Oh yeah, we have to keep maintain a perfect decorum in a hall and stuff like that. But yes, here we are, and I take this recommendation very seriously, and I'm going to read it again. You said, according to you, no Buemba, meaning the diplomatic note should be sent to where again?
To the State Department.
To the
From
State
our foreign
Department.
ministry to the State Department, yes. Engaging, with respect to this matter.
Okay. Well, to the State Department, and the Madam Sarah Bexley Yanti has a mail. All right, so we're about to take calls. Let's have another time of, we got 8 more minutes to go. Yeah, so if you are listening, watching as well, this is State of the Nation. My name is Magdalene, and I have with me today from the US. Where are you currently from? Washington DC or?
I'm out here in Sacramento, California. Sacramento is the state capital of the state of California. And the state of California got more than 30 million population.
Yes, that's too huge, man. Yeah, that's too huge.
Hollywood, you get all these, all the Silicon Valley, it's a cutting edge of global activities. And California has been very much involved in Liberia's development in the past. The Civil Service Agency, the people who graduated from the California State University here, Dr. C. William Ali, and all of them, they are products of Sac State, right here in this town. They live in this town. Dr. C. William Ali, who I talked about, he once lived in Sacramento. He went to Sac State. So a lot of, many Liberians, there's a Liberian president, he's there, Dr. Ben. He also graduated from Sac State. Many Liberians are, yes.
All right, so with interact with the public, this is Mr. Gabriel Williams, someone senior diplomat of yes, he served nearly 9 years old. That's more time, almost like a senator. You're almost
you won't believe it. When Madam President was leaving, I decided to resign. I did my note and I sent it, my letter of resignation. I sent it to one of my senior brothers. And he told me, my man, if you know what I know, you better don't do it. President, the madam will not take it kindly. So I removed that portion here. And then her last meeting, when she came at the embassy, she was telling people not to leave. She actually singled me out. As for Mr. Williams, he's a professional person. I don't want you leaving. Stay here so that when these people come, you will help transition them. She made that clear in a meeting.
But it didn't work.
Yes, and then after she left, they came and then they still owe me, almost $100,000. If people took
but Chief, we can, but the people say owing you. I mean, we have a government in power.
Yeah, these matters have been brought to them that the case is in court. The court, I have to pay. Look, the people are different here. I have a Liberian diplomat. I live in an apartment. I'm not able to pay my government renege. They hold me responsible because I was there. The matter keep the WIA and the Kimia and they refuse to address it. As we speak, the matter is in front of the current government. But you don't have the embassy. A lot of these places have not really been structured in a way to get the resources.
Chief,
so
keep pushing.
I'm waiting. Yeah,
yes, please. Keep pushing. I'm here. We can fight. I don't know how much. I don't know how many percent I can take from the 100,000. But anyway, that will be this.
They could all the meeting to clear the fees first. The court, because that court case. I gotta go to the court and take it out.
Let me take calls first. Let me take calls, then we'll come back to that. Yes, sir. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, Magdalene.
Yes, sir. Are you getting him?
Good afternoon to your student.
Yes, I'm getting him.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think I've listened to a lot of people concerning this issue. But I think sometimes we make too much out of refugees. Look, walking out of meetings, normal situation in every meeting. People at the United Nations General Assembly walk out.
But they formed not chief. They formed a manner in which it was done, and the statement that came from the embassy. I don't know whether you follow that. They sent out, communication. That made us to know that she actually worked out. If you follow the show on Friday, I said we cannot say the woman walked out of the ceremony. Could be he said that maybe she had another meeting, but we got a clarity from the embassy. We follow on Facebook, and it said yes, it was done because they wanted to maintain it called a perfect decorum in the hall. So that was not a normal walking out. It was a sign of protest. Very good.
Because the Israeli prime minister was about to speak.
Yeah, but why you want us to take it as ordinary as a normal walking now?
There's so many people have done that in so many meetings.
But we don't want to accept that. We don't want people to do that to us. It's not ordinary walking, your chief.
In this kind of forum, when you don't want to listen to what somebody is saying, you walk out.
So we should accept it as a people. So should we accept that as a people and not talk about it? But that's America we're talking about. That's America we're talking about. That's not a town in local country.
What we should be waiting for is America's response to working out. If there is a protest.
Okay.
That's what we should be waiting for. We should not be against.
But that was it. That's not a normal procedure, chief. You are a traditional man. I don't expect you to be saying that kind of thing. No, but if you go and read diplomatic etiquette, it was actually against. No, I don't expect you, chief. Yes, you. Liberia or it no, we would never. I don't think Liberians will go out somewhere else and do that to anybody. People should not look down on us because of the way our country is underdeveloped, and we always be looking out for help. People should not override us. We are, we are independent as old as we are, and we should be respected as such. So, well, yes, sir.
Sitting in Washington or whatsoever, with all due respect, Donald Trump is one person who has no respect for Africans. And he gets up and talks on little things about Nigeria. And the president or the diplomat walks out. Because he doesn't want to sit there and his country be integrated. That's a protest because he doesn't want to listen to them.
So that means the people over there should not talk about it, should not say, but why? But you also have to look at the content of the speech. The content of the speech, there was nothing of what Donald Trump can be saying, using the 4-letter words and using it all countries. No, what was being said, you have to also look at the content, the context of how you call it, the speech. Anyway, let me take another caller, Chief. Thank you so much for your contribution. Okay, sir. You're welcome. Halford, you are here again. How you doing?
Yeah, so we have important part to play in our country, so we must give our contribution every time. Now, the guest abroad just spoke on something important, and the government were able to rebuke the woman and said the statement she made is a personal statement. They were able to counteract that. Why don't they counteract the act of the American delegates that went there? Why? So they need to do that diplomatic note quickly.
Okay.
Condemning her attitude, their attitude. It is wrong. You cannot react to the orator and you make the other one out. That's been sycophantic. Why should we be so afraid of America? You cannot say something to their face that is wrong. The president is sitting there and the people walk out. It's an insult. You must address it.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so kindly. Thanks for placing your call. Let me take another one, then we call it a day. Hello. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Okay, thank you. All right. Thank you so kindly. Thanks to all of our callers. I mean, we keep because we are actually out of time, so we go back to Mr. Gabriel Williams to um give his parting comments. I think you listened to the caller. The other man said, well, leave the people, they were right, it happened, those things, happen around the world. You are a diplomat. So, I mean, you can respond to that and maybe provide some education for us.
Yes, let me just come back again. This can easily escalate into more problem with the United States. I was trying to make a point earlier that I didn't, and then I think there was some interruption regarding President Walker's own speech during his inauguration. And I wrote an article that was published by Inquirer newspaper, Front Page Africa, indicating that the United States deserved some credit for post-war Liberia. And I also talk about the cleavages, the unresolved past, these issues that we have, grievances, which the orator so very eloquently articulated. But I'm just saying there's a need for pragmatic diplomacy that is being real. Look at the situation right now. That's why I say if it is not happening yet, I'm sure it's already taking place. Let the Liberian government send a diplomatic note verbal, they call it again, to the State Department, seeking, drawing attention to what has transpired. I'm very sure the State Department, maybe they too have even sent their own note complaining about what happened. So, and then from there, they take it from there. The foreign minister and, their officials on that side, they can begin to engage and see how this kind of situation can be brought under control. There's a lot of
Okay.
emotions on both sides, but that's all I say. We have to be sensible because this is our most important bilateral partner. We cannot afford to create problems when we're supposed to be working together with these people to help us deal with critical issues. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Thank you so much. So on a note, this is how we want to say goodbye on State of the Nation. Thanks to Abel Placky, our first segment guest. Thanks to Mr. Gabriel Williams. Yes, it was actually a wonderful post-analysis of the oration. Yes, so we have to go. And on behalf of State of the Nation, we want to say good night. But before we can leave you, don't forget about the upcoming conference. On Saturday, we have 9 speakers in attendance, and tomorrow when I come, I'm going to announce the speakers' name again, their names, and the various topics, their location, and everything. So watch out for tomorrow. Thank you so much for following this State of the Nation. My name is Magdalene Saah. Good night. I'm going to put a zipper.